in order. And I don't appreciate people who slack all the time. This is a business. And this time, Brad cut her off. I know who the boss is, and I'm not knocking you for doing your job. But your position doesn't give you the right to talk nasty to people like you do. I'm grown, and so are you. You should know better. And if you want respect, you have to give it. Respect is something that you don't know nothing about. You need to respect this place of business and do as you're told. She laughed, but he didn't see a damn thing funny. Listen, Trick, I got one mama, and you ain't her. So are we done here, or would you like to speak to me about something else? She rolled her eyes with the tight face she allowed her evilness to show. She was already an unattractive woman to Brad. He always thought she strutted around as if she were the prettiest brown-skinned woman in the world, with her shaved head and very thin frame. He didn't think so. She made claims about people telling her she resembled Beyoncé, but all he could do was laugh about that. If anything, that told him how messed up in the head she was. Brad was also disgusted with LaBailey because she had the reputation of a whore. Her position came from her opening her legs, and everyone knew she slept with John to get the job. He even gave her a new car and an apartment in Town and Country, Missouri, an uppity part of town where affluent people resided. She literally thought that she was Miss Rich Bitch, and to top it all off, she was married to a clueless, simple-minded man who thought she was a jewel. She told her husband that all the stuff she'd gotten was through the company. Brad figured her son came from the company too, especially since he looked more like John than he did her husband. But like everyone else, Brad kept his mouth shut. It was none of his business, unless LaBailey continued to put him on blast. She did, telling Brad exactly what else was on her mind. I want you to clock out. You're fired, and no one, you hear me? No one speaks to me like you just did. Brad shot up from his chair like a rocket, releasing words he had been dying to say to her. Bitch, you can have this stupid-ass job. I wouldn't want to work another day with your trifling, messy ass. Good riddance, and don't forget to put my final check in the mail. She fired back, hissing at him so loudly that people outside the door could hear. Messy? You're the one who is messy, fool. And as far as your check, wait on it. I'll get to it when I can. Brad tightened his fists. He was so ready to jump over the desk and crack her face, but the last thing he wanted was to be hauled out of the restaurant in handcuffs. He didn't have money for a lawyer, nor did he have bail money to get out of jail. With that in mind, he was able to maintain his composure. He loosened his fingers, and the word that spilled from his mouth was, whatever. LaBailey marched to the door, then opened it. Everyone who had been listening in scattered as if they had been busy doing work. Brad was saddened by all that had happened, and as LaBailey began to rant to another manager about Brad, he ignored her. He clocked out, put up the deuces sign to everyone who looked on. And all y'all can kiss my light-skinned ass, Brad shouted. Minutes later, Brad walked out of the building where he had been working for almost 5 years, still making minimum wage. He'd had bigger plans than working at a restaurant, but he wasn't quite sure how to go about pursuing those dreams. For one, he could rap his ass off. He thought about pursuing that career, but everyone knew how difficult it was to break into the music industry. He was also skilled at drawing. Art was his second love, but most people weren't paying big dollars for artwork. He felt stuck, and it was so easy for him to settle. Now, though, he had to come up with a better plan, a plan that would help him justify his bills that were already tremendously behind. Before Brad knew it, he'd driven at least 7 miles away from the restaurant. The air conditioner in his car wasn't working. It was hot as hell. His shirt stuck to his sweaty skin, and the wrinkles on his forehead showed his frustration. He couldn't get LaBailey's words, "You're fired," off his mind. All he could think about was what he was going to do next. But after he pulled over at a gas station, he spotted a close friend who worked at the restaurant. Brad exited the car with a smile on his face.